All right, 3:02. Should we start? I'm ready. It's already recording. Let me share my screen. Here are some of the things we're going to go over today. Just kind of an overview. And we can share these slides with you later so you can come back and check them out as well. So we've got these are some of the topics.
Sorry.
We're new to Zoom, some of us. No, I'm just kidding.
I am.
So, Travis is going to take a minute and go through some of the basics. Then Ron's going to go ahead and cover some of the cool features with manager and self-service, and we'll just follow this order. So we'll turn it over to Travis. Again, are you going to drive yours or drive mine?
You're gonna drive yours.
Because you won't be able to use this if you go full screen. I don't
Oh, I
think.
see. Yeah, I'll just look at this, but we'll use yours. Because I have to use yours to show us. Okay, so we're just gonna run through this pretty quick. This is kind of the iPad 101. There's a lot of different menus and screens that will pop up that you can do with an iPad. As you can see on the slides, you can come back and refer to this, but we're actually going to run through it on this camera that we've got set up right here. Can everybody see?
Okay, now I can.
Okay, so everybody can see that now. So the first thing that we're going to go through is the iPad Control Center. Now, there's 3 different menus that you can open with these iPads. The first one being the Control Center, which you swipe down from the top right, about halfway down the screen, and you get this menu right here. This has a lot of different just options, turning your wireless off, Bluetooth, things like that, and a few more things we'll talk about a little bit later. There's the Notification Center, which you swipe down from the very top. This will have any apps you have to set to notify you. So if you have like the Gmail app, if you get emails, they'll actually show up through this notifications right here. The next one is the search menu, which is actually if you pull down about halfway. So if there's an app that you know you have downloaded, but you just can't find it, if you swipe down halfway and say we're looking for manager, we can start typing, there it is, and we can open it up. And we can go through there. So those are kind of the 3 main menus on these.
And they're hidden.
And they are hidden. Okay. So, and that's another thing Ron brings up. So a lot of people will go too quick. Oh, okay. So to open those up, you can see, and some teachers may open them too fast. So if you go really quick, you can get screwy things. So if you go a little bit slower, you can get the search, or the notifications pulling from the top down, and you can kind of see how to do that. Now, to rearrange the home screen, say there's an app you don't like. You really don't want this Apple News. There's what you do is you tap and you hold. Now you're going to get this little pop-up. Then you can say edit home screen, and everything's going to start wiggling. Now you can push the little minus right there, and it will delete that app. We'll just do that here and then see delete app. The other option that you can do also is, say we don't want this Apple TV. If you push and hold, you can actually just get this menu and say remove app. So if you don't hold as long, you get that menu also, and you can delete it. Now you can also rearrange your screen. So say there's a bunch of these that are on here. You just want to, you might use them, you might not, but you want to group them together. If you push and hold on an app until it starts wiggling, now I release, and now I drag it over top of the app I want to group together. And now see how that kind of grouped all in one. And once I exit out, just tap anywhere, push the home button. It'll come to this solid where they're not wiggling. Say I don't like that name business. If I come into it, or we have to get into this edit. No, sorry. So they're wiggling. I can come in here and now I can edit that business name. So we can just say something like other. Once we're done with that, we say done. And you can either, we'll push the home button this time. And now that folder is going to be called other. And you can store all your apps in there. So now, the next one is your control center. So up here, when we pull down from the right, we get our control center. There's a lot of apps that you can add in over here. If you come into settings, and now we go to control center, all these are the different apps that you can add. If they have this red minus, that means they're already there. If they have this red plus, that means you can add them. Green plus, sorry. One of the main apps that one of the add-ons we're going to talk about is this screen recording. If you want to be able to record something that you're doing on your iPad, this screen recording works great. So I'm just going to add that by pushing the red or the green plus, and it's going to be added into this included controls. Now, once I drop down the control center, you're going to see this circle right here, the circle within a circle. That is now your screen record. So if I tap that, it's going to give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and it's going to start recording the screen. You can also tell by this red spot up here, it is now recording. To end that recording, you can tap up here and say stop. And it's going to save into the Photos app. The other thing you can do when you're recording, so that wasn't going to get my sound. So with me talking right now, it wasn't going to capture that. If you push and hold on it, you're going to get another pop-up here where you can select where you want to save it to, which Photos is probably your best bet. But I also have this option, microphone off. Now we have microphone on. So now if I start a recording, it's going to record anything the iPad does plus my voice.
Do a quick 10-second recording.
So now if we come in here, we're going to do a recording. And now anything I'm talking about right now, it's going to be picking that up. So now let's stop it. And we're going to go into Photos here and show you. So see, I can't find where my Photos app is. So we're just going to pull that down and say Photos, and there it is. So now we have a screen recording. And let's see, it may be this one, or it may be the other one. Be picking that up. Oh, there it is. Let's stop it. And now you can hear how it did record my voice, whereas this one that we did originally, it's playing right now. I wish I would have swiped, but it is playing and there's no sound. So that would be how you do a screen recording without using, that you can just use straight on the iPad. Now, we've been opening quite a few different apps. So now we want to close all the apps. If you have an iPad with a home button, it's the little circle on the bottom. You'll just double tap it and it's going to open up everything here. And to close them, we just swipe up right there. And so now that's how you can close different applications. If you see your iPad running a little slow, that is a good option to run and go through those, close everything. Now, if you have an iPad that doesn't have that button, which I don't have to show you, you swipe from the bottom about halfway up the screen. Oh, it does work on these too. So you can also do that. Didn't know that. And then you can, same thing, you can swipe up and close any app there. One important part of these iPads also is making sure you do the updates. We don't really control those. We just want you to update the iPads when they come out. So to do that, you just go to your system preferences, and then you're just going to be on this general option here, and then you can see software update. So anytime that you get an update, it's going to show up right here. This iPad, we can see iPad OS 15.3.1. This one's completely up to date currently. Here is a perfect option here. So here's another iPad. If we go to general, software update, we can see that this one hasn't been updated. And it's going to download that, and then it'll take a while to do. And once it's done, there's an option to install the update right there. Now, another option that you have is taking a screenshot. So if there's something on your focused. Okay. So say there's a screen, there's a website that you want to take a picture of. So say we want to take a picture of this. Now, if you have an iPad with that home button at the bottom, you will push the lock button and the home button at the same time, and you'll see it, see how that flashed and took down to the bottom left? That just took a screenshot. If you don't have that home button, you're going to push the lock button and the volume up on the side, which this one isn't going to work because it isn't one of those. Any of those are going to go to the Photos app. Any screenshots are going to show up in here. So we can see right here, there's our screenshot that we just took. Now, another one is sometimes one of the best things you can do if your iPad's running slow is just turn it off and on again. Just push the power button on the top here and hold it in and see how that comes up. Now we can just swipe that and it's going to power the iPad off. To turn it back on, just push and hold the lock button in the top right of the iPad. And that is our iPad 101.
Manager.
Well,
Ron?
I'm good. You can sit right there. The Mobile Manager that every iPad and every Mac has, it's that little icon says Manager. We kind of ran through this the first time we deployed our Macs and our iPads. So everybody kind of gets an idea of what's going on right now with this manager. What we really want to do with that, is actually go through the process again and make sure that everybody understands what we're doing and how to get your apps that you guys need. Once you guys open up the manager like we just barely did, the first thing is we do not log in right there. It seems like everybody likes to log in, but you guys really don't need to log in at all. So what you do need to do is actually hit self-service. And when self-service comes up, what's going to happen is all the apps that we saw during that and what your school technology people asked for us to put on, this is where they're at. Now, what you can do, if there is an app in here that you'd like, all you need to do is actually click on and reinstall or update. And that will actually install the app that you chose right there. And there's GoodNotes that everybody would like to have. And there's a lot of them that you just need to go through. But on the very top, if you guys know what it's called, you guys can actually type it in and actually look for it that way. Yep, exactly. And then you guys can update the app if you needed to actually on top of this right here. And that's how you get the Mobile self-service going. Oh, and if your school needs to actually have more apps actually added to their self-service, your school tech will actually be the person that teacher goes to, and they'll ask that school tech to get that app on self-service. We are asking that if there's 3 or more teachers asking for that app, we will put it on the self-service. Now, if there's a purchased app that your school needs or wants, the way we wanted you to go about this is actually fill out the PO request, and that'll be handed to the district office, basically Shari Reber, and she will fill out the form for Apple. And once that's filled out and paid for, we will actually put it on your self-service for your school only. And from there, if you only deem it to only certain people inside your school to have this, we can actually push it out to only certain people in your school if needed to. So that's for purchased apps only. For any other apps, 3 or more teachers that want that app, we'll put it on self-service.
Hey, I have a question about this because I'm not real familiar with it. What's the benefit of using this rather than just going through like the app store? Because I have no
Well-
idea what this manager thing is.
Oh, yeah, it's a good question. The benefit of going through the app, the manager like this, is first of all, the teacher doesn't have to go to the app store at all. It's right there and it doesn't connect you with that app with your account. And it's a lot faster to actually look for the most majority of apps that a teacher would want in that school. The paid apps is obvious. You don't have to pay for them. The school district pays for them and they get installed on your iOS or your Mac. So the convenience of it is probably the first thing that we like about this.
Another good one is if teachers have an app that they've been using, you'd be able to see that app that other teachers are using. too.
Yeah. And the other one is we have to vet all our apps. So if there's a questionable app out there that a teacher is using and we don't catch it, we would have to remove that app and the teacher would have to be reminded you can't be using certain apps because they go against school policy. So all these apps that are on this right now have been vetted. And they should be, and that's why they're there to help that teacher out. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, it does. So if there are apps on here that are paid apps, we're not having to pay for them, right? From Mosile,
Correct.
like
GoodNotes.
GoodNotes. Yeah.
The GoodNotes
Okay.
one is, there's other schools that actually paid for apps that are there. And that school gets those apps too that they paid for.
Okay.
So yeah, your GoodNotes is the best example. You didn't have to pay for it and you get a download for it.
Perfect. Okay. And then
Yep.
if teachers are not using Mosile, should they be, or is it okay to just free for all download? Well, I know it's not okay, but
It is the nature of, yeah, I understand what you mean.
yeah.
We prefer them to go through the Mosile. If they don't and they download an app that's questionable, then they are responsible for the apps they install there personally. on their
Okay.
own devices.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ron.
All right, so the next one are Apple TVs. So if we have anybody from elementaries, this is mainly in secondaries. We have a couple schools that do have Apple TVs in elementary. Most of you have probably seen this and how to do this. But basically with an Apple TV, you can connect your MacBook or your iPad to use your projector. It has great quality and it's a great way to be able to move around the classroom instead of being stuck at your desk. So these are some of the screenshots that you can see in order to use, but we're going to come over here and I'll show you directly on an iPad how to do that. So if you want to do an Apple TV, if you haven't seen it before, when you sign in, we're going to come directly to our control center, swiping down from the top right, and then you can see these squares. If we tap on that, we're going to get this option to open up screen mirroring. So we have a TV up here. We're going to connect to it. So I'm just going to tap LG Tech TV Tech Conference here. And what it's going to do is it's going to pop up with this AirPlay code. Now on the TV, I can see a code that's going to look just like that. And so ours, and it's going to change. So it's 4328. Now I'm just going to say, okay. Usually that's going to go through. But that is how you're going to connect to your Apple TV. On your computer at the top right up here, you're going to see kind of the same thing. See this, that has these little toggle switches. If we click on that, we're going to get a similar looking screen, but here's our two boxes, our screen mirroring. We can tap on that. We're going to go back to this LG TV Tech Conference. And this has already been connected, so it's saving it. So you guys can't see it, but it is broadcasting on our TV. Now, to stop screen mirroring, what you're going to do, so we do everything we want. Now we want to stop. If you click on that menu again, come to screen mirroring. And now just click on that. It's going to turn it off. So we're no longer screen mirroring. The same thing will be with the iPad. To stop screen mirroring, you'll come back in here, open this, and there will actually be a thing down here that says stop mirroring at the bottom. And that's basically how you can use your Apple TV. So you can either send your screen of your laptop, your MacBook Pro, or your iPad.
Any questions on screen mirroring? It's one of the single most popular features people want.
I would definitely say so. That's one of the big reasons that we did these iPads.
Great, thank you. All right, going to do a quick GoodNotes basic demonstration. This is one of the hot new apps that everybody is wanting to get. So let me do a quick demo and tell you about how this works. So you're going to get your Apple Pencil and you're going to open GoodNotes. Let me go back here. And to start GoodNotes, you're right here at the Documents folder where all of your things are. So you can use your Apple Pencil to do your tapping. And if you go right here under the gear and you go to Settings, you can go to Automatic Backup. So one of the first things that people want to do, and they want to turn on Automatic Backup, and then they want to sign into Google Drive. And then it wants to sign in, and it'll step you through your Google sign in. That way, anything you do here is backed up. So if your iPad is stolen or broken, dropped into a bathtub and is dead, whatever it is, you'll still have all your content. So you do want to set that up as one of the first things that you do. Okay, so why do we use GoodNotes? This is your virtual whiteboard. So instead of standing at the whiteboard, you can be free to sit at your desk or sit amongst the students or walk amongst the students and do this. So what do we need to do? Well, over time, you're going to have hundreds of documents. So you want to build folders. So you'll do a new folder, and this one, and here's the, let me clear that off. Okay, I gotta use my phone. If I want to do art, it does recognition, and then I say done, and I just created an art folder for all of my art projects. Notice I have a math folder. I can go into my math folder, and it's empty right now. So I've got this math unit, and I need to put it in my math folder. So I'll go to my math unit here, and I'll click on the top and move it to a different folder. Let's move it to my math folder. Okay, so now I can go back. I have a math folder, and inside my math folder, I have math unit 7.2.4 or whatever your curriculum is. I'm going to open this workbook. So it's actually a notebook. So you can create a new notebook by going to there, and it says, how do you want it? And you can choose through all these different pages, and you can create, this is a squared paper or a dotted paper, and you say create, and we've now got a blank notebook. Let me go out of that and just go to, go out of here, go out of here. We go to my math unit. So I open my math unit notebook. Here's page 1. I've already created it, and we're going to do this. So I want to mirror this to the screen for my kids to see. So I've got this. Of course, you can rotate it however you want to do it, and you can change the orientation of your paper. So here's our whiteboard, and now notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my palm right on here, and it's going to ignore my palm. And I'm going to go to black. Okay, 9 plus 7, 16. Carry the 1. So I'm going to work through these math problems. Now, if I want to erase, there's an eraser tool. And my palm is still on here. And I can erase that, and I can erase that. And go back to my pen tool. And come to this one. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1 over here, and I'm doing math. And I can also hit undo. There's an undo button to undo. Now I can swipe with my finger to go to page 2. Now, I can't write with my finger. If I lose my pen or my pen battery goes dead, I'm like, I need my finger to work. You go right here to your 3 dots and you go to stylus and pen rejection. And I go right here to Apple Pencil and I say none. Now I can say word, or whatever you want to call it. So I go undo. And I'm writing. Now, oh, I found my pencil. I'm going to come back and use it. Stylus and pen rejection. Smart stylus back to the Apple Pencil. Done. So here is a worksheet. And I put it in here. And we're going to go through this as a class. So you can do this. And you can write and do things and do that. Just notice that once you back it up, any changes you made are permanent on there. So sometimes you want to have an original folder with original worksheets and then ones, certain worksheets that you can modify and edit and write on. So I want to make you aware of that. So now I want to add a new page. So there's a plus button right here. I'm going to add a new page and I'm going to scan a document. Okay, can you hand me that? Thank you. I've got a new worksheet. And I went to scan document and I'm going to scan it with my scanner. So see, I'm going to show you that I'm scanning, but I've got to raise up out of the camera view. And it's going to auto detect the corners of the page and then it'll take the picture. Okay, it took a picture. So now I can click it right there. And it just took a picture of that and added it. Okay, let me hit save.
It's not showing.
Not showing.
Is it showing on here? Mine just froze up. Okay, never mind.
Okay, so I just scanned another document. So I have 2 documents that I've just scanned. And now that's into my worksheet. And it's by hitting this add page, I scan a document. Now you can take a photo or you can do an import and you can say, what do I want to import? And you can import PDFs into here and do different things like that. So that is working with that. So let me, if you want to see what pages you've got, you can go to the 4 little squares, shows you the pages and which page you want to go to. I want to go clear to the front. If you import a PDF document and you are wanting to scroll through it and there's a link on it, you can't tap the link because it starts writing on it. So you need to get out of edit mode and go to view mode. So you tap this little, and this goes between reading mode and edit mode. Now we're in reading mode. So now I'm in reading mode, and if I tap on this, it went and followed the link because I'm in reading mode. And if I want to go to all the pages, I can go back to the first page, tap this, go to that page. So that is reading mode versus edit mode. Toggling between those. Okay. That is the basics. There's a lot more to it. There's many other tutorials that go into more depth, but we don't have time for that right now. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview and show you how you can use this as a virtual whiteboard to write on that.
Can we add Google Docs to this?
Not sure.
If we had Google Drive or something?
Well, it does import. So if you export those as PDFs, it will import those. I don't know if it imports a Google Doc directly though.
Okay.
So,
And I'm just thinking about that kind of stuff. You know, a teacher would work on a Google Drive and they want to upload it.
don't know that much. Okay, Apple Pencils. This is the Apple Pencil version 1, and then there is an Apple Pencil version 2. These are very handy, and there's lots of things that you can do. There's the Notes app, and it's just the built-in Apple Notes. And you can create a new note, and you can write in here.
Is it always black? You have to choose, or you can choose how thick and thin your.
Right, and that's right here.
Okay.
There's some tools. Good question. Tools right here that gives you this, and you can get an eraser, and you can erase these things.
Oh, nice.
And there's a way to, there's a trick to erase and a way to make it bigger, and I can't remember how to do that. So that's Apple Pencil in the notes. But if you don't want to use this Apple Pencil and you just want to type, turn this off and you go to here and then you start typing here. Okay, if you have a question
There's also, go back to the pencil now.
to this one?
So if you don't want to write everything and you want to write it and have it go to the text, see the pen with the A?
Ah, this
Oh,
one.
Nice.
Okay. And then if I want to just draw, I pick a different pen. All right, so that's Apple Pencil, and you can use it for other things to scroll and tap in places, get things, but it's starting to see how it's starting to write everywhere. So just know that it'll take a little while to get used to how the Apple Pencil works.
I have a question. My iPad says I don't have enough storage to download GoodNotes.
Ah, storage. This is a good one. So, okay. Settings, general, iPad storage. This will give you a rundown of what's using all your space. Sometimes you can find out that in photos, I don't see photos on here. Photos are taking up all of the room because there's videos in there. Or you can find out that an app is using up a lot of space. But you can go in here and you can find out what is using up all your space, and then you can figure out how to delete things and how to clear out and make more space. That's a constant problem that everybody has with their phones and their iPads, is eventually they fill up. And so then you have to take some time to figure out how to clear things out.
Get rid of apps that you don't use.
Right. Yep. That's very true. So look through there. If you tap on it, you can see you can offload the app, delete the app, and there's other options that you have when you go through this. Go to books. You can find out what's good question.
Okay, another part to that. When I delete an app off of my iPad, is it gonna delete it off of my other stuff? Because I feel like my stuff's all hooked together,
Well, your other iPads?
like my phone and my,
I don't think it does.
it'll just
I-
take it off the iPad only.
Right. However, when you delete an app, if there's app data, things that you've created in that app, most of the time that data is deleted as well. And if that data is not syncing, you will lose everything inside it.
Okay,
You reinstalled it thinking that you're gonna pick up.
Right, yeah. So if it's syncing data, then you won't necessarily lose that if it's on both devices.
Okay.
So. All right, Travis is going to talk about this, and this is applicable to more than just M-Class. It can pertain to any website, but specifically, this is what's needed for M-Class. But if you have a certain website you want to go to all the time, this can be used for that as well. Go ahead, Travis.
So a lot of teachers have needed this M class, and this is going to be a good segue anyways into other programs, because you can actually make a website look more like an app if you want it to. So this is kind of neat. So if we go into Safari, let's open up our visualizer here. So we're just going to open up Safari. And then we're just gonna we'll use M-Class as our example. And the big ones, the M-Class assessments. So we're just gonna go here. Now, normally, what you need to do, at least with M-Class, is sign in first. But then if you see this little share button at the top, the square with the arrow, if we tap on that, see this add to home screen, we can add this to our home screen and it'll give us a little logo, and you can change the name of it right here. And then we can just say add.
So you would put your Gmail account there?
Or whatever you want to call that little shortcut.
Okay.
You can do that, or use a Gmail app, either or, but that would work. But now that we have this app looking thing, so now this looks like an app, we can tap on that and it's going to load. Now, some websites have it better than others. So if we had signed in here, it would actually pop up full screen and not just open up the browser to go to it. See how if I go there, it just opens up a new tab. If you sign in here, it's basically built in and it loads it. But this, if you are missing M-Class from your iPad, this is how you get it. But you would need to sign in first. And then you would want to say the add to home screen, if that is an app that you're missing. Oh, this is one that is not in self-service because it has to have a sign in and it's not actually an app. It goes through a website. You have to do this in order to add it to your iPad. But then it's going to interact just like a normal app or anything like that, where you can delete it or add it. And you can do that with any website there. So.
Okay, thanks. Airdrop. I want to show you Airdrop real fast. Airdrop is a very handy feature. If you have a PDF on your MacBook that you want to send to your iPad, I'm going to go here to my downloads folder, and I have this iPad manual right here. I want to send that from my MacBook to my iPad. I'm going to say File, New, Finder, Window. I'm going to go to AirDrop. And I get this window over here. And I get this window over here with my iPad manual. Now, I can see my iPad right here because I turned on AirDrop on my iPad. So I went here and I swipe down from the top, and right here in this section, I tap and hold. And I turned on AirDrop because it was off. Now it's off, turn it back on, put it on everyone. Okay, I just turned on AirDrop. Now I'm going to come over here in my iPad for my demos here. I grab this file. Hold on here. Okay, so I drag it, drop it right on top of the iPad with my name on it. Try that again. Okay. And it went, and it says, hey, somebody's sending you, and I say accept. And it says, where do you want to put it? Well, if you do want it in GoodNotes, you choose GoodNotes. Right now, I'm going to just choose files because I don't want that manual in my. So now I have a PDF with my iPad user guide on my files. Now, files is hard to find, but we know that we can do a quick search for it. Files. There's my iPad manual right there. And I've got that. If I want to send this manual to someone else, I tap on it, then I hit the send to button, and I say AirDrop. It's going to look for other iPads or MacBooks that have AirDrop turned on. And then I tap them, and it makes a connection and sends it. Now they have to be in the same room with you, probably within about 10 feet to make that work. So that's AirDrop.
Hey, Randy.
And we are, yes.
Sorry, will you really quick go through everything you clicked on the MacBook to AirDrop? I wasn't ready. Or you can just tell me really fast, everything you clicked on. So I've like got my document ready. How do I get it over to AirDrop?
Okay, I went and I'm at the Finder. So you're this little blue thing, I'm at the Finder, and I said new Finder window.
Oh, okay.
And then in a new Finder window, you'll a lot of times come up to this, but you need over here on the left, click on AirDrop.
Okay.
If it's not turned on, you may have to do this to make sure it's turned on. Now you have to have two Finder windows, one where your AirDrop is and a second window to drag stuff from. And I could drag it and drop it right on top of that and it would go like I did just a minute ago. Does that make sense? Did that help?
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Be cautious who you accept airdrops from.
Right. Yeah. Some people take funny pictures and airdrop them to other people in the crowd. It's a game, so be careful. Oh, if you're going to receive an airdrop, see, I'm receiving one, I can accept, decline, or just open it in Photos. And I don't know what is being sent to me, so I say decline. You never know in these presentations what Ron may send you, so we'll say no to that. Okay, we are out of time and we're wrapping it up, but we wanted to say that you can get cases, keyboards, and we have some recommendations. There's a great Logitech keyboard with a trackpad that gives you mouse functionality and great typing abilities. We recommend strap or handles for those that are going to be using them walking around the classroom to keep them from falling on the ground. Your iPad has Siri where you can ask it questions, and there's a built-in Apple Translate that is very useful for the duolingual classrooms and different things like that. We really like the Adobe Scan app. I think it's that in self-service. So that's great for converting things to PDFs from paper to PDF. And then there's some great things. Your iPad can be a document camera as long as you're already mirroring to your projector.
They have to be at 15.
Yeah. So anyway, keep them up to date and you'll get all those features. So, okay, thanks everyone. Appreciate you joining.